recipes for technical trading success in Cook's Kitchen.
Should you buy Shopify or the Little Big Shop, the new e-commerce kid on the block, BigCommerce? Well, I couldn't decide, so I bought them both. You're looking at a price chart here of BigCommerce, and I've learned a bunch about this company just in the past week. Nothing like putting a little money on the line to force you to learn more about your newest holding. BigCommerce IPO'd in August, and this price chart from stockcharts.com is a logarithmic chart, so you are seeing the percentage moves, and it's really hard to notice, but if we pay attention to price, after the IPO, which was, I think, well oversubscribed, and the stock probably exceeded the initial opening price by double, shares went from the low 60s up to 160. That's what you're seeing here for the all-time high. And we're just crushed back down, bounced off of 70 in September, back to 110 in October. And then this is where I started looking at it, down here near the all-time lows, bouncing off of 65. And I thought, okay, here we've got an IPO. They're going to have a lockup expiration in 6 months, which should be early February, where more shares could get unloaded. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to take a shot here now in the mid upper 60s, and that worked. The past few days here, Monday and Tuesday, the stock shot up above 80, settling in here around 78 right now. So I want to share with you my initial buy thesis and what I've learned since then. So looking at my Taser portfolio here, let's go, and you can see we're up 15% already in BigCommerce, and I'll show you the Shopify trade too. So I'll just go to my commentary here. For Taser. All right. I want to go right down to where I bought BigCommerce and why I bought it. So I'm calling it the little Shopify. And that's exactly what it is. There are obviously many differences between the platforms. Shopify is a beast that is now 115 billion market cap, and BigCommerce was only 4.5 billion. So, and it's actually trading cheaper on a price to sales basis, where Shopify is pushing 33 times sales, forward sales, breaking, maybe they break 2 billion soon, or they'll break 3 billion. BigCommerce, is trading like 26 times sales. So that's one reason I liked it. The day I bought it, it was initiated at Stifel with a buy and an $80 price target. And I hadn't read a lot of the research on the company. I just knew that it was considered the up and comer here. And so that's why I wanted to take a shot, especially since it was trading cheaper and it come all the way back down to its all-time lows in the mid 60s. It had reported some good numbers recently. It's got annual recurring revenue of 38%, which was up 32% from 2Q. So there's a lot of adoption going on. It's benefiting from the work from home economy. And then Wedbush just made a comment on it. They remained neutral with a $90 price target. I could see them, I imagine them to be upgrading soon as the stock, has come down, because that was a rating from a month ago. Oh, we also bought Square recently. Couldn't resist jumping back into Square, and I'll talk about a little bit about that. All right, so let's there's Square and buying BIGC. Let's take a look at new information I learned. Oh, by the way, I also bought Shopify. So and actually added to our Shopify position. Well, I took a stab under 1,000 after earnings because I liked the pullback. Nothing changed in the fundamentals. Yeah, it's overvalued, but it's the premier new sort of little Amazon, and I told my people, hey, if you get shots to buy it under 900, do so. Shopify. Let's take a look at that price chart, by the way. Where's the shop? Where did I hide my Shopify? There it is. So Shopify, nice little bounce off of 875, 880 in November. You actually got, this is like November 10th, 875, November 16th or so, 875, higher low. Really should have pulled the trigger right then on more Shopify. I was just looking at election uncertainty, no stimulus, vaccines priced in, and I didn't jump fast enough. So we ended up buying here yesterday as it forms a bull flag, bumping its head on the 50-day. That's worked out so far. Buyers are coming in for Shopify now. And, the risk was you've got this big rounding top in Shopify, right? Which, a lot of chartists would say, hey, this extends lower, coming down to test the mid 700s. If that is a big rounding top, and I'm willing to take that chance. I think, risk reward is probably pretty even here. You could see 800 before 1200, but I'm betting on the strength of this market, which seems to shake off everything right now. Okay, so and what made me really pull the trigger yesterday was I found out Stephen Mandel's Lone Pine Capital has made Shopify its largest position, and so that was nice to see. So yesterday I went over, what he owns, what he bought, adding to Shopify. Now you can see here it's a 1.8 billion position for him, and ahead of Facebook, Microsoft, Coupa, and PayPal, which I call PayPay here. All right, so let's continue on. What else we learned about BigCommerce yesterday? Wrote a piece last night for my people, saying we would look to be buyers again in the mid 70s. And so Big C is on big radars. So I'm just going to go over some of the stuff I learned. First of all, did you know that SunTrust became Truist? SunTrust merged with BB&T. I had been ignoring research notes from this new firm called Truist, and then didn't realize that this was Terry Tillman, who's a great software analyst. He's been at SunTrust a while, and they just upgraded BigCommerce to buy from hold with a $95 price target back on November 16th. I didn't even know it. So that, and then he wrote a piece. He does this thing every Monday. It's called Tillman's Software Monday Morning Missives. And that, I think, got the stock going, because here was the thing that he wrote about. BigCommerce launches open checkout feature, enabling further platform flexibility. Now, so this is an open source front end where a business can totally customize the checkout experience. And you know how important the checkout experience is. It's not only where a merchant can sell more, but it also better work smoothly, flawlessly, and be a pleasant experience for the customer, or the shopping cart gets abandoned. So this Tillman thought this was a big deal. He was already a bull on it, but I thought it was a pretty big deal too. And and then more innovation. We found out November 17th that a software firm called TaxCloud is integrating with BigCommerce. Speaking of integrations, back to Shopify. More bullish news for Shopify is they just did a partnership with Alipay, so that Alipay is the sort of the payment infrastructure for Alibaba, and runs a lot of volume. And for them to help people sell in China, and have that be seamless was huge. Okay, so this TaxCloud partnership for BigCommerce I thought was a pretty big deal. This is what I said last night. I said, this is music to my fintech ears for the same reasons that we love Square. SaaS, software as a service, that seamlessly serves the small business person so they can focus their time and energy on selling, not on bookkeeping. That's always huge. And that's why if the platform works for a seller, you're going to see more adopt it. And so that's why I see growth. it's steady growth ahead for a BigCommerce. You're talking 30-40% steady growth here, probably for a couple years. And we'll watch out. We'll watch out for the IPO lockup expiration. But something else I didn't know, they just did a 5 million share offering, and this was not a. So this was not a. Typically, IPO lockup lets out the early pre-IPO investors. This was more of a secondary raise for the company. Just they were able to raise 5 million at let's see, let's go down to it here. 5 million shares, rather. 5 million shares, not $5 million. 5 million shares priced at $68 on November 13th. I did not know that until yesterday either. So hey, when you buy a stock, you do your due diligence. It's like you got to get enough things lined up that you like about the risk reward, and I did. But then I've learned all this since that secondary price at 68. The stock held right in there. That was very bullish to me. So let's go back to, let's see who the new buyers were. Everybody's a new buyer in an IPO, right? Tiger Global right here at number 3. Goldman's big in there, but Tiger Global with 1.35 million shares. So nice to see that. Tiger's, they're sort of like a Steve Mandel, right? They're focused on technology growth and consumer discretionary, big trends. Over many years. They're not in this for a trade. So that's Chase Coleman at Tiger. What else did I see that I liked here? Oh, did you know this? I did not know this either. So I found out all this stuff, digging in to this new little company, this new little Shopify, BigCommerce. Intuit tried to buy them before the IPO. Intuit offered $1.5 billion for BigCommerce and was turned down, obviously, which was a great decision by Big C, because it's a $5 billion company now. And so I think that's probably, once that news broke, probably in August, that's what sent it from 70 up to 160 in some kind of mania and blew out the shorts. I'm not saying it's going to go to 160 anytime soon, but I'm looking for 110 sometime in the next 3 months. So I think I've told you all the good stuff I wanted to talk to you about with the Big C, the new little Shopify. And I would continue to be a buyer of those shares. All right. Talk to you next week.